It may be April Fool's Day, but this is not a joke. T-Mobile and Sprint are now one company. Hi, I'm Chris with the Mobile Internet Resource Center, here to give you a major update on the long-awaited merger between Sprint and T-Mobile. Now, this is a merger that was first announced nearly 2 years ago, back in 2018, and it has had to go through the whole complete gauntlet of getting federal and state approval, getting the FCC and the Department of Justice to sign off, actually fighting off a lawsuit by multiple state attorney generals, and then finally getting all the last of this completed. T-Mobile and Sprint today announced they are one company. They are trading as a single stock on the stock market, and they can finally begin the work of integrating their networks, integrating their companies, integrating everything to make a completely new company. So what does this mean? So Sprint is going to be the lesser partner in this merger. The Sprint brand will actually be retired over time over the next several years. So everybody will eventually become T-Mobile customers, but that is not going to happen immediately. In fact, they're saying it's going to be probably a 3-year transition to fully move everybody off of Sprint, combine the networks, tap into all these resources. But happening immediately is the networks are starting to come together. Now, Sprint has already been experiencing enhanced roaming onto T-Mobile's networks. That's just going to go to an even higher level now. And now, starting actually immediately, T-Mobile is going to be able to start taking advantage of some of the spectrum that Sprint controls. In particular, they're really eager to expand onto the mid-band spectrum that Sprint had been using for LTE Band 41, to use this for T-Mobile's 5G expansion. And just hours after the merger was finalized today, they said that they're already starting to turn on mid-band spectrum in Philadelphia. So really unlocking a lot of extra speed and coverage for T-Mobile's 5G network. This is kind of the main reason that Sprint was such a juicy acquisition target, is that Sprint owns a ton of this mid-band 5G suitable spectrum and had never been able to do anything with it. Now that T-Mobile, who already has a low-band, long-range 5G spectrum, can combine with this mid-band, and suddenly T-Mobile is really well positioned to be a leader in 5G. So, opens the door for a pretty exciting future for T-Mobile. It just completely reshapes the U.S. cellular market. So instead of having two gigantic carriers, Verizon and AT&T, and then two lesser carriers, Sprint and T-Mobile, now we've got a three-way, very well-balanced market that's going to change the competitive dynamics dramatically. So 3 big carriers, 3 big nationwide carriers. And then, well, as part of the settlement with the Department of Justice that was made last year, is once this merger closed, now actually the new T-Mobile is going to be selling a bunch of spectrum and doing a lot of work to enable Dish Network to become a new fourth nationwide cellular carrier over the next several years. So a lot of things shifting, a lot of things changing. A lot of current T-Mobile and Sprint customers are wondering, well, what does this mean for me today? At first, it doesn't mean anything. T-Mobile has said that nobody's plans are going to change. Nobody's going to have a higher rate plan or anything for at least 3 years. And their goal is just to start tapping into the combined networks and to give people better coverage and better speeds. But at the beginning, the two networks will still be operating separately. Sprint devices will go to Sprint customer support, Sprint stores, T-Mobile devices, T-Mobile support, and T-Mobile stores. And they're going to now start figuring out what that combined network looks like. Now, another shift is T-Mobile. The new T-Mobile, as of today, has a new CEO, Mike Sievert, who formerly was the Chief Operations Officer, has been elevated to CEO of the merged company, as John Ledger, who had basically created T-Mobile into the juggernaut it was, has stepped aside. His mission accomplished. So now that this new CEO is there and the two companies are legally one, we expect sometime in the next month or two he'll probably have an event where they'll start rolling out some of the first steps, probably call them still uncarrier events, of what the new combined company is going to do. So right now, not a lot of immediate changes unless you happen to have 5G coverage in Philadelphia, but every day the networks will probably get better and closer and more entwined, and then soon we'll start hearing about new plans and new services and everything else. So keep an eye out. It's a major change in the cell industry, and we'll keep tracking it.
These videos are brought to you by our premium members, our mobile internet aficionados. They make it possible for us to track this news and create these videos. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe to our channel, or better yet, consider becoming a member yourself.